Okay, so you guys can just watch me braid hair because if you didn't know, I braid my own hair, and these braids are getting kind of shitty. So you can just see how I do it. But we can chat for a minute. There was something I was actually online, so we could just talk about that right now. I saw that Blueface did a video, made a video where he was like responding to his LGBTQIA fans. These are men. Now, this is one thing I just feel like women, especially black women, you should just listen to the response and then don't take it out of context, just listen to it. So the thing is, like, being from a state like California, and I'm not playing here, about 75% of men in general, this is of all races, but especially black men, and the black community might be higher than that, like 80% of black men are gay. They're a part of the LGBTQIA community in some way, meaning that in some part of their life, they have literally had sex with a man had a sex with another man, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think that if you're a member of that community, that is great. Like, you should fly your flag proudly. I just think that you should just be honest about that, right? I think you should. And the thing is, like, there some people like don't want to date in the same way that you will hear all the time, like, men talking all day online about, like, they're like, I don't date black women, I don't date white women, I don't date whatever their personal preferences are that they love stating. You can also be like, I don't want to date someone who's gay. That can be your preference. That is my personal preference. Like, that I'm sorry, that I don't really have a racial preference. I do have a gender preference and a sexuality preference. Like, I don't delve into that community. That's just not my thing. Like, I'm strictly dickly. Like, I just like men. I like straight men at that. I don't know what it is. Like, gay men are attracted to me like white on rice, and I just have to tell people, like, yeah, no. And I think it was like so important for me personally to get out of California because of that. Like, I think I was being like hunted in really awful ways. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's places. This is why I think it's just really important for us to have conversations about why certain things can happen in California and they feel hella normal, and the rest of you guys are wondering, like, yeah, but these are the popular things, and then everyone else is kind of like, yeah, we don't do this shit. So, like, um, how can you say it? If you had actually lived your entire life where you were just dating, if you were a girl and you were just dating like straight men, and then, you kind of went through the normal ebbs and flows of like having healthy relationships with heterosexual men, you would understand sort of like customs, all these like norms. Now, the problem is, if you were in a place like California, you might be dating somebody who's like literally telling you that they are straight or whatever, and the fact is they're not. And Blueface got to see this shit for himself. He made some post that was like, "Oh, I'm bisexual in the hands," which is just, I think he was basically talking about how like he fingered women, and it was supposed to be a joke or some shit. Now, other homosexual men took this as like there are many homosexual men, especially homosexual black men, who desire Blueface. Like, they like him, they're sexually attracted to him. That is their personal prerogative, but Blueface got to see this shit for himself because, like, all of a sudden his DMs are flooded with like pictures and quotes from gay males who are hitting on him. Now, that is offensive. Okay. And that is like crossing boundaries, which is something I think we just have to talk about. Like, that is a real thing that can happen, and it did happen. Like, some of y'all in that community crossed the line thinking that this dude was gonna be into you, and he's not. He's into women. He likes women. That's okay. Like, some men like men, some men like women. You can find like Sam Smith, right? He has a whole video community of those men who like men, and you can go watch them, you can follow them, you can participate in their community. But like, other communities, the pussy fiends, okay? Like, I've been blogging. This is a channel dedicated to cataloging the ins and outs of the pussy fiends, explaining their language and customs, okay? Like, they really like women. We're gonna actually get into it because Jadena put out a new album. It's called Blush, where it looks like his whole music video is just about how much he loves pussy. So, thank you. There's also, I mean, Chris Brown. I feel like Chris Brown and Drake are two of the biggest pussy fiends on tour. Like, well, the weekend, the weekend, Drake and sorry, there was someone. Oh, Chris Brown. Yes, the Pussy Fiends on tour. You know, obviously they've been coming and telling us things, and obviously, you know, there's that. But yeah, I'm not sure. You might want to not follow somebody who's like, oh, here was a good one I actually heard. There's a brother Joe Jonas or something, and he's like talking about Jealous. He had a song called Jealous, and it came on today. And I heard it a while ago, and then I guess I just forgot like how good the song was, and then why I actually like the song. So this is like a straight married man, actually talking about why and how he gets jealous, and so that might be something you might want to understand. Like men get jealous too, and he's explaining how and why. Why don't we actually unpack that song and video? That's a good idea.